Hello YouTube, it's Will in here doing my review on Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. This game right here. Before I get into the actual review, I'd like to say two things. This game is eligible for 2 awards for Kingdom Hearts games. The first award being the best story. The second award being probably the worst gameplay mechanics. But more on that later. We gotta do my introduction. So, without further ado, the introduction. Hearts 358 over 2 days is the second installment, second Kingdom Hearts game on the Nintendo DS. It was released first, Recoded being second. It's the second one on there. You play as Roxas, Sora's nobody, as you go through the organization collecting hearts, and you also befriend Axel and the mysterious 14th member, Xion. Her name's spelled Xion, and I was calling it Xeon for a while until I friend and I heard it, and it's Xion. Both Roxas and Xion are Keyblade wielders, and it is their job to defeat Heartless, collecting hearts to make Kingdom Hearts. A lot of hearts there. Anyway, shoot, I forgot my train of thought. You go through multiple worlds, Twilight Town, Argaba, Aladdin's world, shoot, Hollow Bastion. That's a mixture between Maleficent and Beast, uh, Beauty and Beast. Olympus Coliseum, Halloween Town, Neverland, Alice in Wonderland. I think that's it. Of various different worlds. I stated at the beginning of the game and my initial thoughts, I thought the game's slow and boring. Well, that's because I was just getting through the introduction. I think I did my initial thoughts the same day I got it, so I don't think I did it much justice. I also think I was complaining about the panel system because it was hard to do. I mean, you only had to select a few panels to start, but the more missions you did and you got more slot releasers, the more panels you got later on. So the panel system I got used to after a while. One of the biggest problems I had was the mission system. You go by each day by day doing one mission. You wake up, do mission finish, end of day, repeat. It does that throughout the entire game. I mean, you do get it where it skips a lot of days, but for me, it got to a point where I wasn't doing the missions I didn't have to do. I was just doing the story missions because I wanted to finish the game. And it got that boring, that repetitive. Another issue I had was the enemies had ridiculous amounts of health. I mean, I'm not sure if it's them trying to make the game harder because the enemies didn't do that much damage, or whatever. The game just was really long with really long mission thing, like missions were for days, and the enemies having lots of health kind of brought the game down. The game's saving grace is the character development and the story, and that's probably the only reason why the game is getting its rating that I'm giving it. I'd like to go further into the story. However, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't played. However, I will also say this: the story is heart-wrenching, even if you do know the ending, like I did. So I'm gonna do my verdict, my final verdict now, and then I'm gonna go into the spoilers of the story for those people who can just pause it and leave, and those people who want to finish it. So I give Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, 3 stars out of 5. Okay, at this point on, it's all going to be spoilers for the story. The story, as I said, is Roxas, Axel, and Shion being friends and doing these things that friends do. They go on missions and they meet on the clock tower for a ice cream every day after every mission. And well, after a while, both Roxas and Shion both start questioning why they don't have memories of their past and such. And it turns out, well, Shion and Roxas are part of Sora. It's obvious about Roxas because it's kind of told at the beginning, but Shion was a complete surprise. And then she turns out that she was supposed to capture Roxas's memories and create a Sora that the Organization 13, can use. And then Axel knew all this and never told Roxas, even though they were best friends. Well, one of the more dramatic scenes is when Axel was bringing Shion back again, and he doesn't want her to go back to Sora because they were going to destroy her, and she was his friend. But and that was one of the more dramatic ones. And then a heart-wrenching was Roxas leaves the organization because they were just using him. He was just a tool to be used, and Axel tells him that you can't just leave the organization; they'll destroy him. And Roxas says it doesn't matter; they wouldn't miss him. Nobody would miss him anyway. He leaves, and Axel says that's not true; that he would. But the final boss is Shion, and I'll tell you what, that was a hard boss. But and then the game ends on the first day, Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's a expansive story, and it's basically built on character development of Axel, Roxas, and Shion. So, like I said earlier, the story is the game's saving grace. Its gameplay mechanics is probably the worst that I played. I mean, I've played Chain of Memories, which has been considered one of the more worst games, not one of the better gameplay mechanics, and I think that gameplay is better than this one because the enemies have a fair enough amount of HP, and you go to one world, go through it, finish it, and go on to the next. It isn't constant missions that drag you down. So, as I already said earlier, I give this game 3 stars out of 5.
Only 7 days to go, and then my summer vacation's over.